Welcome to the FathersHero podcast. I go by the name of Nate Williams. This is episode 1 of the FathersHero podcast. On episode 1 today, I thought about many titles, but let's just get into the name. Why the name FathersHero? Well, to me, I think I break it into two parts. So, on one instance, I look at what's a father, and then I also look at like a hero. So I'm gonna do it backwards. Start with hero and then go into father. So to me, being a black man, growing up in South Central, moving around throughout, different parts of my life, but mainly being bred in the soil of South Central, I think most people can relate. There wasn't a lot of heroes, especially not in the sense of men. If we just being frankly honest, a lot of black men, or if you Latino, Hispanic, a lot of, men were in jail. So for us, a hero was a lady. And nothing is wrong. And I am so grateful for the women that have raised me, from my foster mom that I consider my grandma. We all called her nanny. She cooked. She bent over backwards. She took me on trips. I traveled the United States, went to Mexico, had a passport before I was 15. She did a lot of great things. But I personally feel that as a young black boy, once I got to a certain point, I needed leadership. I needed kind of direction. And for me, why I kind of said I'm going to go the opposite direction and talk on hero first is that, truthfully, I didn't have a hero, or at least positive hero. So my influences early on as far as a hero was the people in the community. I mean, those are the people that you see, whatever it is that you gravitate and view. So for me, the hero was, it wasn't a specific person, but the hero to me was, the older cat standing on the street corner, maybe in front of the liquor store, or somewhere in your neighborhood or your area that you grew up in. And, he was kind of respected, but, he will give you game. Hey, if you wanted to kind of join this lifestyle, this is what come with it. But if you was part of a certain community, 9 times out of 10, they knew your family. They knew who you was kind of tied into, down to your address, maybe even that house you live in. And they would kind of push you away from those things. They would say things like, nah, man, go to school, man. Your grandma, your mom don't want you out here. So those were my heroes growing up, because all I saw was like violence and, everything that came with, the streets. I mean, I saw dead bodies. I saw, you name it, and for me, as I got older, I think as most black boys, we come to kind of this point of like around 12, 13, sometimes younger than that, as we call it, jumping off the porch, and we make a decision unconsciously and not maturely, what we gonna do? And so that causes us a lot of times to kind of veer and go towards the streets. And a lot of those people that the world views as these are not good men, not good examples, to us, a lot of us, we don't have our father in the home. We don't have no positive role models. Nobody we could look at and say, man, they got a good job. They got a stable job. They're a family man. Nothing real positive. Is either like, if you do got a man typically in the house, it's kind of like negative, beating on the mom, involved in drugs, in the streets. It wasn't a whole lot of positivity. Not saying those things didn't go on, but more times than not, it was kind of like you didn't really have an example in the home other than, the woman figure if you was a young black male. So for me, I would see, man, this dude's, they got new shoes damn near every day. They got new clothes, nice cars, they don't look like they have to want for anything. Family looks happy in the sense of like they are well taken care of. So I'm like, man, this is a hero to me, because it's like, man, he respected in the community. Everybody likes him, And then as I got older, I started seeing these men that I looked up to as far as the heroes, like kind of like, hey, so and so not over here. What happened to him? Oh man, they got killed. Now you start seeing the negative consequences that maybe you don't understand, that come with being associated or, circling around or being around the streets, the part that we don't always really talk about, the separation of family. So I started to realize these activities and certain things were tearing families apart. And so for me, I dibble and dabble different things in the streets. I didn't get too far in. I kind of make a conscious decision, like, nah, I didn't want to go, because I kind of saw, like, nah, I don't want to live this lifestyle or be a part of any of this. So for me, I started watching a lot of like the Steve Harvey show, not his first show, but his kind of talk show. I started watching Oprah, and I just love the dialogue and the conversation. But for me, the biggest hero was a woman named Tammy Johnson, and it was my Spanish teacher, Mr. Delgado, and I always tell this story. Mr. Delgado was dope, and he pulled me to the side. He said, man, hey, why are you, tell me about yourself. And that was the first time somebody sat me down for my birthday, had a meal with me, and wanted to learn about me. And I told him, like, the pain I had for not having my pops around. And then Miss Johnson, she just sat me down, like, why you not trying? It's like, I don't care about life. And she kind of like was on me tough. But that was the same lady, the reason why I graduated from high school, went to college, and graduated, because those two individuals were like instrumental in, I see potential in you. I believe you can be somebody. So they spoke life into me. So what I'm getting at, a hero is not just necessarily what you see surface, and you could physically, someone you can see that, or someone that's tangible, you can touch or shake their hand. Sometimes, depending on your situation and the environment you grow up in, it's the people that, speak life into you, see potential in you, push you to be better, don't care about how you're going to respond, like push you to amount to different things. And man, I'm forever grateful to this day. You know what I'm saying? Forever grateful. So those were two people I consider my heroes, amazing to this day. Like, Miss Johnson was my English teacher, still amazing. Man, thinking about that, it's the type of things that get you emotional as a grown man, because you're like, man, without this woman, I wouldn't have been here. But circling back to like my whole point of like father's heroes, because for me, I didn't have a lot of men as far as positive influences that I saw as my hero. Like, I wanted to be like, that was instrumental to me. And to me, hero to me is someone positive, somebody that can kind of stir you in the direction you need to go. Not saying that you're not going to bump your head and make mistakes along the way, but they're kind of there as like a lifeline or a support as you're going through your journey. And for me, like I said, it was my English teacher and my Spanish teacher in high school. And so, to me, a hero is somebody that you're inspired by, and on a multitude of levels. And I just think in communities, we need more heroes. We need more positive heroes. We need more leaders to kind of guide the youth and say, hey, I'm going to kind of take you a different direction, because the direction you're going is going to lead to destruction. Because I was headed there. I was out there hanging with the homies and, tagging and, ready to go and losing my cousin. I was like, no, this type of lifestyle come with death. This people going to jail. 13, 14. Nah, I think I'm good. I think I'm gonna go this direction. And hopping off the porch calls me to say, I might hop off the porch, but I'm gonna stay on the sidewalk for a little bit, because I don't know about jumping in these streets. They don't really got together rules. It's kind of savage like out here. Nah, I'm kind of good. And so for me, when I look at father, I look at someone as a leader. It's not perfect, but to me, more important is like his discipline. He creates structure, understanding, loving, someone that is willing to go the extra mile if necessary, would do anything in his ability for his family, and give maximum effort to be there for his kids. Never perfect, but is always loving. And so for me, like I always say to people, growing up, I never had an example of a father. My foster father, he was there. He did a lot of things like I think a lot of men do, or we're kind of programmed to do, is he was a provider. He gave. But I also think like that's just one element of being a man, being a father. I think also being present. And when I talk about being present, I'm not just talking about you in the house and we know you here. I'm talking about being involved. If you got free times, going to curricular activities, going to plays, going to recitals, taking the kids to practice, watching TV, helping with homework, like really building a relationship, just like in church. I always hear like it's not about just coming to church, it's about building a relationship with God. Like, what's your relationship like? So to me, the most important thing about being a father is a relationship. So for me, creating this podcast, it's about showing or highlighting great things about men, but also showing like as a man,